podcast you cheer for. Sneaker business talk. It's the Soul Material Podcast.
And once again, it's the Soul Material Podcast. It's T-Mark, the Street Shark.
And the OGEO.
All right, we're here. Another episode. So let's just get into it. Sneaker business talk. You're gonna keep hearing this theme from us because that's what we do. We're clarity over popularity, and that's why we're the podcast you cheer for. So today we want to get into again, these are ongoing topics. So just more of an update for pieces of conversations we've had before. But some semi-current events have happened, and we just want to, just react and let you know our thoughts and where the trajectory of bulk buying and reselling and the preventative actions that companies are taking to thwart the resellers and the bots and all that crazy multiverse stuff going on. So OG, tell them how you feel, man. What's going on with the bulk buying and the resellers going? Tell us.
Well, let's go ahead and curb this a little bit and do something a little bit out of the ordinary. And I'm just going to read the published release that came from Nike directly, so you can know where they stand on this. And the title of this was "No Purchase for Resale," and it states, and I won't read all of this because it's way too whatever, but I will give the highlighted version. And it says, if Nike determines that a purchase or order is intended for resale, Nike reserves the right, in its sole discretion, as it relates to such purchase or order, to suspend the application of any Nike policy that provides a right or benefit intended to direct the consumer purchase, take any action to hinder such purchase and for future purposes without limitation, restrict sales to any consumer account, or member account, cancel orders, charge restocking fees, impose purchase quantity limits, decline to issue refunds or take refunds, deny access to any Nike store, and or suspend or close any account. So out of nowhere, here comes Nike being all ethical and all greatness, and we are going to boom, 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 the gavel to the ground and say, we're going to stop these resellers and everyone's going to have a fair shot. And this is what we're going to do. And I'm saying to myself, oh, really?
Well, they just said a bunch of wishful things, but they still didn't say what they were going to do.
And as you say, Shark, execution, which talk about execution.
It's almost like it's nice if these things happened or you wish it would happen, but you got to tell us what the plan is. Like, what exactly is going to change? That sounds like you want to punish me. I work in payment processing as well, so I understand that card issuers have changed rules. And yes, the refunds can be rejected by the merchant. This isn't one of those things, though. You'd have to actually open a case and do all this other stuff for that to happen. No. This right here, you said it in your. It looks like one of the disclaimers that you see at the end of a Cialis commercial, like may cause death and heart attack and all. Like, wait, what? Like, I don't want to take this. Then this is look like those disclaimers when you're saying we could reject refunds. You gonna take my money even if you think that I'm trying to sell and then you're not gonna refund it, like, and then you're gonna sell it again. Like, that sounds like a way to make more money than anything. Like, are y'all listening? That don't sound right. That's not ethical for you to do that. And you're trying to make it fair for everyone. So yeah, I'd love to see you, and then you reject people from stores, So I get it. The raffles, we've had such an evolution of fairness, where it was the raffles, you have the image coding that's because long before sneakers were getting bootleg and stuff like that, it was really the Ticketmaster and all the other bots. Mm-hmm. That's why you have those little screen bots or whatever when you check out to say, are you a real person? Are you a human? Because of the aftermarket of event tickets, people would just buy up the inventory when an event went on sale and then go resell them. That's been going on forever. So reselling is not new. It's not a new concept. But it just got commercialized in the sneaker industry because of the frequency of the products coming out, and the viral nature of the popularity just keeps spiking why people want to continue to do this. But come on, you know what I mean? Like, enough is enough. You know what I mean? So when it comes to this stuff, what are you really going to do? Like, when we had these conversations in the past, long ago, we had the Twitter accounts. Like, you had to, in order to get a release, you had to have a Twitter account, first of all. And then you had to pick up the local store's account or whatever, and then they would tweet an image, and then you had to DM them quick, right? And then people start picking up on that, and then because they had the hashtag or whatever, and then the bots were picking up that. So then they changed, and then it was the image, and then the image had random words in the background, but one of those words was the real hashtag. And then the bots got smarter because they started looking at images and then finding the character strings in the images and putting them together. And then these bots still moving hundreds of thousands of a second just to look at images. Like, we were sitting there DMing a store's, Nike store's Twitter account just to go get a raffle. You tell me that's fair? No, that's not fair. Like, fairness is when everybody has an equal entry point. You know what I mean? So, like, if your internet's faster than mine, then that's not fair. If the mobile version of the site versus the desktop site operates differently, that's not fair. You know what I mean? But I think we got into the fair conversation because so many people perceivably didn't win, right? But what were you doing if you won? You were trying to resell it. So, like, I think that we got here, it was just like the dog chasing the tail is how we got here. What do you think?
And not only that, Tony, but what you have just described to me, unfortunately, from the outside looking in, may sounds like evolution, but it's more of just running in place. And what's happened is like an old, Atari screen where the screen is just changing and you feel like you're on a new board and you're not. So everything that you have talked about, it sounds like one would think that we've gotten two steps farther, and we haven't. Things just kind of just changed, and we still are where we are.
Yeah, I didn't say that we got better. The evolution was just meant that, we kept changing because the times keep changing. And what happens is every time they change, the bots got smarter, or the consumers got smarter, so they just kept changing. And then it was almost like they gave up for a while. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
dog, you're talking about cops and robbers, man. The thieves are always going to be 3 steps ahead. Always. That's just the nature and history of this country. That's just what it is.
So one of the things, I've said this in other places, episodes, whatever, but a part of my solution for all of this just says reward the people that's been here. Right. I actually had a customer service issue that I never had before with Nike. So I was actually chatting with somebody, and then I was like telling them, like, I've never had this problem before. You know what I mean? So I'm actually surprised, which is why I'm contacting you now. You may not even be able to do anything about it, which they told me I couldn't do anything about it. I had to wait a little bit longer. But then they noted, like, in the chat, was like, wow, you've been a member for over like 20 years. I was like, damn, don't make me feel old. But then why don't you give me my stuff then? You know what I mean? Like that, factor that into the algorithm, Nike, for how long has a user account been a member, and what's their purchasing power? You know what I mean? Add value, assess value to your customer. Again, I've talked about this in other episodes. I do this for a living. We literally look at the value and future value of donors in the nonprofit world and everything like that. So it's the same thing. Educate yourself and use the data to say who's been really loyal, and then reward them, right? I remember when Foot Action used to have the VIP card. That was some of the best VIP I ever had. You know why? Because when a release came out, I was standing outside the gate, and when they open up the store, they say, we're the VIP card members, and then they open the gate for me when I flash my card. I remember bringing a friend one time, with me. He wasn't a sneaker person. He just knew that I get sneakers. And if you wanted the black cement 3s, all right, then you had a better shot by going to the mall with me on release day. So what happened? I walk in and I have a card, and then they let me in, and I was like, yo, my man's with me. You know what I'm saying? And they were just like, come on in. That's actually wasn't even the protocol. Oh, okay. Now, mind you, this was like one mixtape time, because I think we got a mixtape later too. One
VHS.
Of these releases. Yeah, the VHS. Yes, this was, and it was a like concierge, because I know you remember this. Like Foot Locker had. You remember when they had the mini fridge and they had like drinks and stuff?
Yes,
and
sir.
the VIP got a drink. So I got a Sprite to go with my Jordans. I thought that was cool. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, the high-end boutique giving you the champagne while you're doing the VIP shopping. You know what I mean? So I don't know what happened to that. But like, give me the skip line VIP access. You know what I mean? Tell me, or at least perceivably tell me, right? If I'm on sneakers, tell me that I'm in a VIP line. It's like, you might get more people trying to get to that status, right? Well, I'll put it to you like this. Finish Line has a program that I'm not a fan of, because I'll get the message that says you have early access to the Jordan 4s. And then I look, and then I try to go get it, and it was like, you don't have enough rewards points, because the way that theirs is tiered, like you need 20,000 points or whatever. And I was just like, how much do I have to buy to get that? And that means I only have one release that I can get. I had to do all of this for that. So again, I see what they're attempting to do, but it turns me off more than it turns me on to buy. I'll go get it from somebody else. But the concept of a VIP, I think because of the reselling nature, and the customers aren't the customer, and the people working in the stores are just as bad, you're not even identifying who's part of the culture and who your VIPs are. You know what I mean? Because what have we talked about before? Customer service, relationships. But that's what you need. So I just vividly remember those times. And I remember bringing a friend who didn't have a card. And I remember like the car ride back. And he was just like jaw dropped, like, are you serious? Like, we're in the car going home and there's people still in line with the gate down. And I just walked in. Now, did he get his size? No, he didn't, because the sizes were gone. And then it was just like, and he wore the same size as me. So I was just like, you're definitely not getting this size. You know what I mean? And then it was like, size up or size down. And then when a half size down, walked out with them jump, Jordan 3s for everybody. And then it was just like, that's where you get your clout. You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking that I look cool in front of the other people when I walked out. Some people just like that whole walking in the club, skipping the line, and I'm cool and you're not. You know what I'm saying? It's that concept. Maybe my friend felt like that, but I didn't care because I've done that before. That was a new experience for him. But I know the other people in line was like, I remember one person who was an older person, probably had a parent with them, was just like, how'd you do that? You know what I'm saying? I was just like, you don't know the rules to the VIP cards? And I was just like, you can sign up, go buy something and sign up. And you can do it too. I was like, yeah, I didn't know. I thought you just knew somebody. I was like, no, I don't know these people. You know what I mean? But again, there you go. That was just some customer service. But when it comes to, I think that the relationships and what the game is, you it's hard to tell who's a reseller and who's not. You know what I mean? And some of these employees, they work in the stores, they don't care anyway. So it is what it is. So that's why the game has gotten a little watered down. You know what I mean? But when it comes to the reselling, just got to be mindful of how of these tactics. You know what I mean? Because are they really authentic? You know what I mean? So because I get it. I like sometimes you get some sites are doing it with the password. So I'll just name the name, like Salehi Benberry with his site would Be a Sponge. Everyone's trying to get the Crocs and all the other stuff. He'll do this email list, right? So you have to sign up for his email list. His website is password locked. So you can't even just browse. You got to get the password. And the password keeps changing, right? So for his release, he will send you an email if you're on the email list prior to the launch. right? And then you just log in and then you go from there. But then when you log in, it's even more questions when you're trying to check out. So I've had some success because I've navigated. I failed a couple of times, and then I was just like, okay, so I know to click here and do this and do next time. And now I've won 2 times in a row, hopefully 3 times in a row. But I see everyone complaining. You're like, oh, and I know at the beginning when he was doing it, it was people weren't getting the emails that much in advance because it happened to me too. I felt like on those email lists, sometimes you better hurry up and sign up because you're at top of the list more than others, right? So you think when their email goes out to blast, you think everybody gets it at the same millisecond? No, they don't. If you're higher up in at the beginning, then you're going to get it hundredths of a second faster than the person at the bottom of the list that just signed up 30 minutes prior to the launch. And that should be cool because you don't want the person that just signed up to get it. You want someone that follows you. You want someone that's been there, right? So that's what we want to do. We want to do more of that. You know what I mean? So that's why I wanted to just highlight the good experience. And I hear people complaining, you know, you sent me the email too late and this, and this. Okay. Well, I did notice that they're sending them up to 30 minutes before the release now. Now, it wasn't like that before. You might have got it 10, 15 minutes after the release. Then you really didn't have a shot. That did happen to me. But once they changed, he'd let you know, hey, one of these releases crashed his site. And then when they said that we've improved and whatever, and then I saw that you improved because not that I start winning and that's why it improved. That does help. But it was more so I saw the questions change. They got harder. Okay. One of the passwords to and you'll get a kick out of this. One of the passwords to get into a site was Meteor Man was a good movie. That whole string. So that had nothing to do with the shoes. But I love the cultural reference. I love stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because then it's just like, what? Oh, now I couldn't get in because I don't know what Meteor Man is. And I'm like, well, sorry. Right. So I love those type of things. I just wanted to share that experience, because those questions are actually funny to me now, and then you get the, click all the lions or, click the picture with a boat. You get those when you're checking out. But here's a secret. Here's an auto acquisition before we go. If you ever run into one of those things and then it fails, and for some reason, sometimes those get stuck on stupid and you can't pass it no matter what. One of the questions was 2 + 2 = what? And then it's just like 4, 4, 4, 4. And it's like, nope. You know what I mean? So make sure you refresh. You think you might lose your time, but no. If you refresh the actual thing, so it sends you another screen capture, you might go from the 2 + 2 to circle the lions, right? And then you better be able to spot a damn lion, you know what I mean, instead of answering a question. So like refresh it. Don't keep going too far because you might waste some time. So just squeeze in a auto acquisition while you're trying to beat the bots. Because I've never used a bot in my life. Scouts honor. You know what I'm saying? I still get shoes. I told you all about how I got the Travis Scotts. Multiple ones on sneakers. So it is what it is, but I'd love to see some of these sites like a Nike actually reward people for actually being here for 20 freaking years. But you know what I'm saying? So what are your last words before we wrap up?
No, Shark, what you just really detailed was just solutions, not only possible solutions, but things that other people are doing. And with all the internal mess that Nike had, not so far long ago, that was a joke. Just this publishing comes off as comical in so many ways because, okay, you send this threat, what's your solution or what are you doing new and so forth, and there's no answer for that. So it's interesting because with some stuff you just gave, I don't see why they couldn't do the same thing regardless of their mass amount of consumers and people who are interested in their product. So again, I just found it hilarious on so many levels because internally, even with stores, even their own stores, employees and so forth, it's just a huge rabbit hole. And can this really be regulated at the end of the day? Can it really be regulated? And that's just an open-ended question, a rhetorical question, but can this really be regulated? So that kind of statement just says, okay, fine, I hear what you would like to have happen, what you said, Tony, what you would like to do, but you have not gotten into tackling the issue and helping out with fairness and a solution. So yeah, thanks for your verbiage and have a good day.
Yeah, it's always hard because there's no unbiased, authority that comes in. That's a third party, has no stake in the game. That just says regulate. You didn't do this. You should have did this. So it is what it is. It's
Indeed
some NCAA type of situation. Like they're not really helping you. They're here to make more money off of you. Don't let them fool you.
As my mom would say, nothing but lip service. It's all it is, nothing but lip service.
There you go. That's optics at its best. And that's what we try to do here at the Soul Material Podcast, give you that clarity over popularity so that you understand, you can see through what's going on. And again, that's why we're the podcast you cheer for. So we appreciate it. Another episode of Sneaker Business Talk with the Soul Material crew is in the books. So for the Soul Material Podcast, it's T-Mart the Street Shark.
And the OGEO.
All right, signing off.
Till next time.
Peace.